day 4 of my Bible study on the book of Psalms. So today we are on Psalms 4. So it says, "Answer me when I call to you, God who declares me innocent. Free me from my troubles, have mercy on me and hear my prayer. How long will you people ruin my reputation? How long will you make groundless accusations? How long will you continue your lies? You can be sure of this. The Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him. Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent. Offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord." Many people say, "Who will show us better times?" Let your face smile on us, Lord. You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvests of grain and new wine. In peace, I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, will keep me safe. So it's a continuation of Psalms 3. Psalms 3 is where Absalom, his son, is trying to go after David. Psalms 3, it is a morning prayer, whereas Psalms 4 is actually a night prayer. And during the night is where all the negative thoughts gets the loudest and more destructive thoughts starts to come. At this point, David has lost his throne. His trusted people had turned against him. His legitimacy was being questioned, and he's sleeping as a displaced king. So when at night comes, he is no longer a king anymore, and people are questioning if God is really for him. Because if God is really for him, and why is he in this state? 4 different categories that this whole Psalms is about. So the first category is when he come into this whole prayer, the first thing he did is to confirm his identity in God, where he says in verse 3, "You can be sure of this, the Lord set apart the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when I call to him." So it's himself reminding himself that the Lord set the godly for himself. The Lord will answer when he called to him. And the second part is that he actually respond in faith. He don't react with his emotions. The verse is from verse 4 to 5. It says, "Don't sin by letting anger control you. Think about it overnight and remain silent." A lot of times where we might feel a certain thing and we will start thinking about, how do I counter this thing? How do I solve this thing? And what David is saying here is that don't let your emotions control you, but just sit with it. Just be silent and surrender it to God. So it's more of responding in faith and not reacting to the situation. Verse 5 says, "Offer sacrifices in the right spirit and trust the Lord." And this also means that you will need to sit with it in silence. Don't do anything, just respond in faith that God knows what he's doing, and then check your heart posture. Where is your heart posture? The things that you're doing, what is the intention behind it? Verse 7 said, "You have given me greater joy than those who have abundant harvest of grain." So this is where he said that God has given him greater joy. That time, abundant harvest of grain actually signifies economic security. As for new wine, it is actually their form of water. It is actually even cleaner than water in their time. So that for new wine, it represents hydration. So hydration, it means emotional well-being, because we need water to survive. We can go on maybe 1-2 days without food, but we cannot go on without water, because our body, at least 70% of our body is made of water. So in that time, new wine is even more priceless than water. When he says that God has given him greater joy more than those who have abundant harvest of grain and new wine. So he had inner joy that surpasses material security. So the last part of this whole Psalms is that he was showing us how to rest in God's presence. That because he remembered who he is in God, and he checked his heart, and he didn't react to the situation, but he responded in faith, and then he started to remember how far he has come, how far God has brought him out. That allows him to sleep in peace at night. That allows him to rest in peace at night. In the kind of situation he had, he could still rest in peace, and that he still felt safe. In that time where you need walls and you need gates to feel safe, but imagine the kind of place that he was in. He was no longer a king anymore, but he still felt safe. So I feel this whole psalm has really showed me how to really pray and to come to God. And these are the steps, when you want to pray to God, you can tell him your current situation, and at the same time remember who you are in him, and remember that he is your father. And from there you can respond in faith instead of react to the situation.